joining the Navy. Should I sell my car? That's the question. Hell no! I don't think you should sell your car. And to be honest, right before I joined, I tried to sell my car. I put it in Wheels and Deals, I put it on Craigslist, I put it in all the little things around the town that I'm in. And I would have sold it if someone had given me an offer that I wanted, but nobody offered me what I wanted. So I didn't sell it, and I'm glad I didn't because I need it. So what you can do is, to each his own. Everyone has a difference of opinion. What happens when you go on deployment for 8 months and where do you leave your car? Or everyone has reasons as to why they wouldn't want to have a car, but you're not going to be on a boat the entire 4 years in the Navy. And for me, I'm shore duty, so my time on a boat is very slim, if any. Depending on my 4th year, what is going to happen to me. I don't know. But in A school, I spent so much money. Okay, if you wanted a life at all in Pensacola anyway, I don't know how it is on other bases, I'm sorry, but in Pensacola, if you wanted to have a life at all and get off the base at all, you had to split cabs. I've talked about this in A school videos, so you can reference that if you want to know the situation. Or you had to catch the bus, which took 2 hours to get 17 miles away or something, because you just stop at Quarry Station, and then it was ridiculous, and it was never on time. And then when I got to C school, on the base where I lived was a far distance from where I ended up going to school. So, in some situations there's a duty driver at each command that can pick you up and drop you off. Like in C school, they would have picked me up and dropped me off. So you can absolutely manage to do without a car, but it's a huge pain in the ass to have to rely on the duty driver. And in some commands, they won't always honor that. They won't always pick you up. If you need to go to medical or something like that, they will, but if you wanted to run to the next and get groceries or something, if you knew the duty driver that was on shift that day, they'd probably take you, but generally they're not supposed to give you rides to the next or anywhere else, really. And if you wanted to get off the base at all, you need a car, and you're going to want to get off the base. Please believe me. You're going to want to get off this biatch. So I would say keep your car. And I'm glad that I didn't sell, and I think God was looking out for me because it didn't sell, and I would have been in a pretty pickle if I had sold it, because I would have needed to buy another one, because I'm shore duty, and I didn't know I was going to be shore duty, and I need my car to get to work every day. And yes, I'm on base, and I could walk, but I don't want to wake up 45 minutes earlier just to walk when I could just drive. And eventually, I'm going to live off of base, and then how in the world am I going to get to work then, right? So anyone that goes on deployment, young kids anyway, not anyone, I'm just saying, a lot of people that go on deployment end up buying a car with their deployment money because you need a car. I wouldn't sell it all. So what do you do? What do you do with your car when you're on deployment? Well, hopefully you make friends. Hopefully, a lot of people get, I heard a rumor before I joined that there was a place that would take your car and keep it in a car storage place and then drive it a little bit so that the gas wouldn't tarnish in the gas tank and that your tires wouldn't go flat and that your battery wouldn't die type situation. But I don't know if that's true, and I don't know how much that costs. But at my command, there are a lot of cars parked in our parking lot, and they have car covers on them, and people that you work with will take your car home one day out of a week or maybe out of 2 weeks. They'll drive your car home and then drive it back. Just every once in a while drive it, and then they keep it at the command, not even at the barracks. It's in the shop that you work at, the command's parking lot. So it's a very safe place. People stand watch, things like that. So there's going to be ways that you can keep your car alive during deployment. And then I remember AWF1 was saying how he had a car, or was it AT1? I can't remember. Somebody had a car, and they left on deployment, and nobody touched it, the entire time. And they came back to it was AWF1. And he came back to the parking lot, and it was, covered in dust, and, all his construction was going along in the parking lot that he parked it in, and his car happened to never just be in the way at all, so it never got towed or anything. And he just got in that car and turned it on and took off. It had been sitting for 8 months. I don't know what kind of car it was. But, yeah, I would keep your car. So, when you go to boot camp and when you're in A school, if you don't have your car, so This is how it works. The Navy will pay to ship your car after you're in. Like, okay, so if you're in boot camp and then you go to A school, everyone goes to A school immediately after boot camp. You do not go anywhere else. You go to A school after boot camp. Even people that aren't designated without a rate, because they have to learn a week of like, maybe 2 weeks of corrosion and crap like that. Basic boat crap or aircraft crap, depending on if you're a seaman or an airman. So, everyone will go to A school, and in A school, it is your responsibility to somehow get your car. The Navy is not going to pay for your car that is in whatever state you're from to bring your car to A school. You have to get your car to A school because that was, you know, it was not, the Navy didn't, like it was, you have to bring your car to A school. They're not going to pay to bring your car to A school. But once you have your car and you're in the Navy, if you were in Pensacola and you had your car, like, if you didn't live very far away, you had someone drive it to you and then drive back in a different car or whatever, you have your car in A school, they will pay you per diem, that's mileage, food, hotels, crap like that, to drive to your next command. If it's C school, if it's your ultimate command, you will get paid from the Navy per diem to drive your car from, in all of your Navy career, if your command switches or if you are moved around at all for different schools or whatever, they'll pay, if your status changes, they'll pay you to drive wherever you have to go. Okay? So that's what I did eventually. Like, I was in Pensacola for close to 6 months, and I should have brought my car. I wanted to. I should have. The amount that I paid in taxi rides and things like that to get off base, I could have saved up to have my car shipped. So when I got to Norfolk, Virginia, I was going to be there for 4 or 5 months, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I need my car. So I paid out of my pocket about $900, $895 or something, like $900 with this company. I went with Door to Door. Door to Door is the company I used to ship my car, but you can look up reviews of a ton of different companies that'll move your car for you. A lot of the companies were like a little over 1,000, 1,300. Door to Door had really good reviews, and they were way cheaper than other people. So I went with Door to Door, and I'm very pleased. So in Virginia, I paid $895 and then tax or whatever for my car to get shipped from Washington State clear over to the other coast in Norfolk, Virginia. So then I had my car. So because when I was in Pensacola, my orders were for me to fly from Pensacola to Norfolk, Norfolk to San Diego. I had plane tickets and everything purchased for me. I had to go to the chief of my schoolhouse and go to PSD, and you'll know what all of these things mean when you get in. It's no big deal. But you have to let people know, hey, I have a car now. So I had to go to EO something or other and get my plane tickets canceled. I had to go to PSD to do something else. I had to tell my schoolhouse to change my orders because I was supposed to be in San Diego on March 8th. March 7th. I was supposed to be in San Diego on March 7th. So my orders said I needed to be at my next command on March 7th. I was graduating on March 6th. Maybe a couple days difference. I was graduating March 6th. I had to be there at March 7th because I had a plane ticket. So I had 1 day to get there. And in my car, there was no way that I was going to drive from Norfolk, Virginia to San Diego in 1 day. So I had to get my orders. I had to do a status change, or they call it something technical. The Navy has a name for everything. Any situation you could possibly think of, if you think that you're the first one, you're not. Like, they have a reason and a name and a program and a routine and a schedule for every single thing you could possibly think of in the Navy. Like, it's crazy how many different situations they understand and can work with you with, because you're in the military and things like this happen. Like, you're not alone, and people have gone through it before, and people do know the answers to all of your crazy questions. Please believe me. So they're very helpful. And I had to get my orders changed too. They gave me 8 days to drive from Norfolk, Virginia to San Diego. So 8 days from the 7th was the 15th. So they had to alter my orders to arriving at my ultimate duty command on March 15th. And I had 8 days to get from Norfolk, Virginia. I took the 20 to San Diego. Now, they give you a chunk of money for hotel, food, gas. You can only drive, I honestly can't remember. It's either 8 hours a day, you can't drive more than 8 hours a day, or is it 5? I don't remember. Or is it 300 miles a day? They have a limit on how far you can travel safely. That's why they give you 8 days. They don't want you to try to make this trip all in 2 or 3 days, because then you're liable to get an accident because you're exhausted, and you belong to the military. Like they're paying to keep you safe so that you don't go effing up a lot of invested money in you and the training that you had and lose you. You know, you're important to them, so they want you to stay safe. So they give you they give you a lot of money to stay in hotels and sleep a lot and get to your ultimate duty station. Okay? Now, if you want to eat savvy, if you have like a friend you could stay with on the way to either place, and you could do whatever you want with that money. Once they give you the paycheck, that's yours. So as long as you follow the rules and drive the amount of time you're supposed to drive each day and things like that, you can pocket some of that money. And I made back what I spent to get my car from Washington to Virginia. So I ended up like breaking even anyway. But that's because I had to go from Norfolk to San Diego. Now if my orders were from Norfolk to Maryland, I would not have gotten paid that much. But I still would have shipped my car. So that's how that works. When you're in training, in boot camp or deployed, or if you're without your car like I was in A school and my car was just sitting in Washington by itself alone, no one was driving it, you can call your insurance company. Now, I know that USAA and most other military associated-ish with insurance companies do this. And I'm almost certain that State Farm does. I don't know for sure. But when you join, you can change your insurance company to USAA or someone that you know will do this for you. And you can, like, my car insurance is $125 a month. $125 a month. So, in April, May, June, I was in boot camp. July, August, September, October, November, I was in Pensacola A school. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 and 900, and that was $1,000. Please excuse me if my math is bad. That's $1,000 worth of car insurance that I was not even driving my car. $1,000 I could have saved, and I did, because when I didn't have my car, and I didn't even have it part of the time when I was in Virginia either. So I called USAA, who I changed my insurance company from, I don't remember who I changed from, to USAA, and I was like, I don't drive my car at all. Do I really need to pay this much for car insurance? It's not being driven. And as long as no one at home is driving your car around, wilding out, and your car is actually just kind of chilling there, like my mom would go into the driveway and start it, maybe drive around the block and park it to make sure that it wouldn't tarnish and things like that. But the battery did die because they really didn't do it all that much. But as long as your car is not being driven, you can lower your insurance. They called it stowage or something, and they do it when you get deployed. They do it when you are in training. Anytime the military takes you away from your car and your car needs to be stowed, my car insurance went from $125, and I get full coverage, $125 to $26 a month. That's how much I was paying a month when I didn't have my car. As soon as I got my car in December, maybe January, December, I don't remember. As soon as my car got to me, I called USAA and estimated the time that my delivery would be made of my car. My car came on this big trailer full of cars. I was like, I'm going to get my car tomorrow. I need my insurance to be back to full coverage because I'm going to drive it around. So it went from $26 a month back to $125 a month. But the entire time I was in training and unavailable, like my car was out of reach to me, I paid $26 a month for my car insurance. You can also do it with your cell phone. I know Verizon and AT&T do it. probably the other companies as well. I don't know why they wouldn't. But when you're training, like boot camp, you can have your cell phone in A school. But in boot camp, you cannot have your cell phone, so there's no reason to have a 2-month plan. Because that's a lot of times, what, $100 a month if you have, like, everything? Maybe that's more than what you pay. I don't know. I'm just saying a number. But that's $200 that you didn't use your phone and you paid for it. So if you call Verizon and you're like, yo, I'm going to be in boot camp, can I have my service like paused or whatever? Your number stays the same, everything stays the same, but they will pause your service or whatever, and they won't charge you for the months then you're in boot camp. So for 2 months you won't get charged. Then you can be like, I need it turned on this date, or you get to A school and you get a different phone, use someone's phone to call and be like, hey, I need to reactivate my phone or whatever, then your plan starts up again. So you can do that with your cell phone also, not just your car insurance. But that's my take on everything. I would keep your car, I would bring your car to you, and my bangs keep falling down because I don't have hairspray. That's it. Okay? All done. If you have any questions, I put my comments on pending approval because I get a lot of like mean, crazy people. So if you don't see your comment post, it's because it hasn't been approved yet. But I also like to keep them on approved so that I can read every single comment, because I do read every single comment. So if you have any questions, just post them below and I will answer them as best as I can.